There's the 18-inch model again.
And here's the Savage Empire. The original name for this episode was Natural Selection.
Yeah.
But as we continued to work on it, I continued to not like that name, and so I went through some of the original series episodes, and I noticed that the name for Savage Curtain had a cool name, and kind of played around with that until we could come up with a better name.
Yeah. There were a few other names that I tried to get in there too, but Savage Empire ended up being the best one.
Yeah. And then I think we worked it into the script, so you actually have one of the characters saying that line in the movie.
And there's the Exeter badge on Garvik's shirt. That's modeled on the badge that Captain Tracy wore in Omega Glory.
Yep.
Although his badge was made more hurriedly, I think, when they did that episode, and so it's out of like some really kind of chintzy ribbon material. And what we tried to do was make our badge look like similar to the same materials and look as the Enterprise badge.
Yep.
So that it looked like we were part of the same fleet and had, just had our own insignia for our ship, which all the ships in the original series did.
There I am holding the Playmate tricorder.
Yeah. And I don't think you really can tell too much that it's undersized.
Yeah, some shots you can't tell too much. Other shots it's a little more obvious, but it worked. It worked and it was recognizable as a tricorder, and that was the most important thing. That was shot in my backyard.
Yeah, some of these pickup shots, you never know where they came from. And here we're discussing the Andorian philosophy. Garvik's not sure about that. He's kind of skeptical. He thinks it's kind of silly or something. He's laughing a little bit.
It's the only planet in the sector. Medulite refinement facilities, and the crew of the Lexington is depending on us to get it. Garvik to Exeter.
And here comes
here's the good
the bridge scenes.
The bridge scenes with the good captain's chair and Holly.
We were running out of time, and we figured we needed some shots on the bridge. So since we didn't have enough time to build a whole section of the bridge, we did it with green screen.
Which was better than not including these shots at all. So, and it actually turned out looking pretty good.
Well, it was good for one thing that we actually could show Commander Harris, because for a while she was just a voice on the communicator.
Yeah.
But she was always supposed to be a principal member of the Exeter command crew.
Yeah.
So it was good that we actually got to show her.
Well, there was Cuddy looking at the Blue Lotus pod.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got that at Michael's craft store. I think it's in the background by Bafuzalek's knee right now.
Yeah. Didn't get to see it very good, but it was an Andorian Lotus pod.
Yeah. I think that Andorian Lotus pod. I think that shows up again somewhere in the episode.
Yeah. Yep. You stuck
Brian Peter.
Yeah. Brian Peter runs by it
one.
Towards the end of the movie. We'll point it out.
Brian Peter is the Andorian spy.
Yeah, we'll point it out again when we see the Lotus pod. That's important.
And here we get the good travel music.
Yeah.
I think the first time I heard this music was in This Side of Paradise.
Yep.
They used it for when they're walking.
A number of different episodes have that music when characters are walking from one location to another. Operation Annihilate.
Yeah.
This
is the big joke, the first joke. And when we play this at Star Trek conventions, we really get some good laughs here.
Yeah. You can't have a captain who's just all serious. I think that Gene Kuhn kind of made that a point of writing that into the Kirk character. So we decided if we're going to have Star Trek and we want it to have the original series feel, then the captain's got to have, kind of poke fun at some of the different characters.
Well, poke fun at the alien, for sure.
Well, for sure, yeah. It has to poke fun at the alien. As unpolitically correct as that might be.
Yeah. But that was part of the charm of the original series. It kind of got... Well, see, in the Next Generation, I think they had... Data was an android, and so they could poke fun at him. Because, I don't know, the analogy wasn't quite the same as different racial... You weren't being racist if you were poking fun at an android.
I suppose. Yeah.
Anyway, enough about that. Here's a cool control panel, and those Andorian letters were invented by Josh.
Yeah, that whole design for the panel there was
Josh
designed by me, and Jim did the mechanics of it, put the lights in. And there was the Andorian symbol on the doors there too. We found that in some
Yeah, that
Star
whole-
Trek lore.
That whole thing right there, that the entrance to the Andorian structure is just a false front that we set up
Everyone inside.
out in a park where they had a big cement platform.
Now some of these shots, like that one right there.
That was filmed inside.
Yep, some of them were filmed inside and made to look like they were outside.
But now we're back outside.
Outside.
Those are outside.
Yeah, I think the rest
Those
of
are
them here are
outside.
outside. Yeah.
And there goes the Lithtor.
There goes that beautifully sculpted Lithtor that.
We should make some Lithtor t-shirts and sell them on the website or something.
That would
Think
be
we
a
could
bad
get away
idea.
with that?
Maybe we could get away with that.
There's Brian Peters, the Andorian spy.
The outworlders have just entered the main government complex.
And he's got some cool utilities there. His phaser and his communicator were built by Jeff Link.
Yep, that's right. Now look at that awesome cave back there. Whoever built that must have been a genius. That was something that I worked on. We reworked the door that you just saw everybody going into.
And now they're coming out of it.
Now they're coming out of it and they're underground.
Yeah, 1,500 meters, I think.
That's right.
Our tricorder reads we're 1,500 meters
Yep,
below the
1,500
surface.
meters.
Garvik to Exeter. Captain Garvik to USS Exeter. Come in.
And I think it's almost time for our brother-in-law to meet his demise.
All right.
Yeah.
Everyone stay alert. It's probably nothing.
It's always
but I don't
good to
wanna
kill
walk
off the
into a
red
trap.
shirts.
Just to you guys.
Yeah.
If,
Since,
if you have your brother-in-law in a movie, he has to be the first one to die. I think it's a rule of thumb or something.
Well, it's
like
mostly so he quits complaining about putting the Star Trek costume on every weekend.
that. Yeah.
Oh. Don't get left behind if you're a red shirt.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story so far. You know, Bafuzela gets left behind, and look what happens. And now, Ensign Ben Haley, don't ever get left behind.
Captain!
Yeah. And he's just a whiff of smoke on the ground.
Captain. Haley's
I think that was made out of like smoke powder that we bought at a magic shop.
Yep.
That whiff of smoke.
Yep.